The moment I saw him, the world dimmed around the edges. I wasn't looking for anyone. I wasn't even supposed to be at that beach. It was my sister's idea solo escape after a brutal breakup and a string of sleepless nights. The ocean, she said, healed better than time. I hated cliches. But then he walked into frame like some glitch in my broken timeline. Sunset caught his silhouette like it had been waiting for him. Tall, unbothered, with a slow walk and eyes the color of dusk fire. And damn, he looked lost in the kind of way I understood. I don't remember who spoke first, only that we were suddenly talking. His name was Adrian. He didn't ask for mine. He just said, "You don't look like you belong here." Neither did he. We sat in the sand, too close for strangers, too far for lovers. Waves whispered around us like they knew our secrets. He said he was a photographer, the kind who didn't carry a camera anymore. I asked why, and he said, "I only shoot moments that can't be saved." We both laughed then, didn't there was this beat of silence, long and loaded. He turned his face toward me, and the sun set in his eyes. No metaphor, just a kiss of golden light behind irises too honest for my comfort. "I don't even know your name," he said softly. "Then, don't ask," I replied. But I was smiling, because something told me this wasn't a beginning, it was a return. He reached out then, slowly, like testing the air. His fingers brushed a strand of hair behind my ear, and I forgot how to breathe. "You remind me of someone," he whispered. "Let me guess. A ghost." He shook his head. "No, someone I imagined." I looked away first. I always did. But before I could get up, he asked, "Will you meet me here again? Tomorrow? Same time?" I hesitated. Every part of me screamed, "Run." This felt dangerous in the kind of way that doesn't leave when it's over. But I nodded anyway. I nodded like I'd been waiting my whole life for someone to find me at the edge of the sea. As I walked away, I didn't dare turn back, because deep down I knew he was still watching, and I liked it. I showed up the next day. Worse, I was early. I sat on the same patch of sand, pretending not to look around, pretending I wasn't checking my reflection in my phone. The breeze tasted like salt and nerves. I told myself I could leave any minute. I lied to myself a lot that day. Then I heard his voice, low, smooth, familiar. "You waited." I didn't even turn. "So, did you?" Adrian dropped beside me. No camera, no bag, just him. He smelled like cedarwood and ocean air, like every bad decision I wanted to make. We didn't say much at first. We just listened to the waves and the silence between us. And then, without warning, he touched my hand. Not by accident, not brushed, touched. His thumb slid over my knuckles, slow and deliberate, like he was memorizing skin. "You have this look in your eyes," he said. "What look?" "Like you've already left." That caught me hard. I didn't want to explain that I had a habit of detaching, of mentally packing my bags before things got real. I didn't tell him I'd been cheated on, gaslight, ghosted, rebuilt, and still walked with a limp in my heart. Instead, I whispered, "Maybe I'm just waiting to stay." He turned to me then. "Stay." Just that, one word. And I think I broke a little. The guarded version of me cracked. "I don't even know who you are," I said. voice smaller than I wanted. He smiled, then asked. So I did. We talked about nothing and everything. He told me he used to take photos of war zones. Said he stopped after the last one took more than just pictures. He didn't explain. I didn't push. I told him I was a graphic designer who worked too late and slept too little. I didn't mention my ex or my trauma, just that I liked fixing things others called broken. That's why you're here, he said. I tilted my head. What do you mean? You're trying to fix something in you by being somewhere you don't recognize. And damn, if that wasn't true. The sun dipped again, painting gold across his jaw. We were closer now, almost knee to knee. He tucked a finger under my chin and lifted my gaze to his. Can I? He asked. I didn't have to ask what. I nodded just once. He leaned in and kissed me. It wasn't fire. It wasn't chaos. It was slow, deep, intentional. The kind of kiss that asked questions and answered them in the same breath. The kind that feels like someone's learning you from the inside out. I didn't want to stop, but I pulled back first. Because my phone had buzzed twice. My sister. Probably wondering if I drowned in the sea or in someone's arms. Adrian stood and reached out his hand. I took it. But when we walked off the beach together, I noticed something strange. A scar on his forearm, thin, jagged. Familiar. Too familiar. I didn't ask, but a memory pulled at the edge of my mind of a boy, years ago, at a train station, bleeding from that exact spot. No, it couldn't be. Could it? I didn't sleep that night. Not because of the kiss though, that alone could have drowned me in replay loops. It was the scar. Thin, raised and jagged, exactly like the one I'd seen a decade ago. I was 15. A boy had jumped onto the tracks to save a dog. Got pulled up by a stranger before the train hit. I never forgot the way his arm bled red over white bone. I'd rushed over. I'd held his arm with my scarf. He never said his name, just looked at me and whispered, "Thank you for not looking away." Was that boy Adrian? Couldn't be. But the scar, the shape, the exact line of skin memory, I couldn't unsee it. The next day I didn't go to the beach. I told myself I needed distance to think. But the truth was, I was scared, not of him, of how fast this was all moving, of how familiar his soul felt. Inside mine. Around 11 p.m., a knock at my airbnb door made my pulse skip. I froze, then opened it slowly. Adrian. Soaked from the rain, eyes stormy, hair dripping. No umbrella, just standing there like a question I couldn't answer. You didn't come, he said. I needed space. He nodded, didn't push. Then he held something out, a photo, old, faded. It was me. 15, kneeling on the edge of a train platform, holding a boy's bleeding arm. His face was turned, but I knew that jawline, that neck, that scar. Where did you get this? I whispered. He stared at me. I kept it. Someone snapped it. Said they saw a miracle. I've carried it ever since. My throat tightened. My world tilted. You were him. I breathed. He didn't speak, just nodded once. That same quiet nod from 10 years ago. I didn't remember until I saw your arm, I whispered. He stepped closer. I never forgot. You were the first person who saw me bleeding and didn't run. I felt something inside me split, something old and buried and aching all these years. We were strangers who weren't, I said. He reached for my hand. But what now? I asked. He pulled me gently toward him. Now we stop running. And I almost let him kiss me again. But then his phone buzzed 3 times. Fast. He didn't check it. So I did what I shouldn't have. I glanced at the screen. A name flashed. Claire. Don't ignore me again. I pulled back. Hard. Who's Claire? His eyes darkened. It's not what you think. I stepped away. You sure? Because it looks like what I've seen before. He tried to speak, but I shook my head. I don't want to be a rebound. I don't want to be someone's escape from a mistake they haven't even cleaned up yet. He ran a hand through his wet hair. Frustrated. She's complicated. We're not together. Haven't been for months. Then why does she think she can text you like that? Silence. That silence hurt worse than a lie. I backed into the room. I can't do this. Adrian, please, he said. But I closed the door. Slowly. And this time, I didn't look back. I didn't leave the room the entire next day. Not for the ocean, not for air, not even for the sunset. I sat on the edge of the bed with my phone screen dark, arms wrapped around my knees, repeating one question in my head. Who the hell is Claire? I tried not to imagine him texting her, calling her, explaining me. But imagination is cruel when it's fueled by doubt. By evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I put on my jacket and walked straight to the beach, not to find him, just to breathe. The tide was low, moonlight sharp across the waves like broken glass. And he was there. Sitting in the sand. Alone, again, like he knew I'd come. He didn't get up. Why are you here? I asked, voice brittle. He looked up, eyes tired. Because this isn't over. I stood there, fists in my jacket pockets, daring him to explain. Claire's not what you think, he said. But she was. Once. That's not better. I shot back. He nodded slowly, like he deserved it. She was my fiancée, he finally said. It hit like a punch to the ribs. I turned to walk away, but he stood and grabbed my wrist, not hard, just enough to stop me. She died, he said softly. I froze. He let go immediately. 2 years ago. Car crash. I was supposed to be with her that night, but I had a job. We'd been fighting. I told her I needed space, and she left. She never came back. My breath caught in my throat. But she texted you, I said, swallowing the storm inside me. Adrian looked away. It's not her. It's her sister. Same name. She took over Claire's number. Sends me messages when she thinks I'm slipping. When I stop answering people, she thinks she's helping. And are you slipping? He smiled broken. I was. Until you. I felt everything at once. Anger, sadness, relief, grief that wasn't mine, but now lived inside me too. You should have told me. I whispered. I didn't want you to see me like that, as a man still tangled in someone else's shadow. I sat down, my body heavier than sand. I didn't come here to fall in love, I said. But you did, he whispered. I nodded. So, did you? He sat beside me, just close enough to make me feel it. I kept that photo for years. You know, he said, of you, that day on the tracks. It wasn't about the blood or the scar. It was the way you looked at me like I mattered. Even when I was nothing. You weren't nothing. I whispered. Neither were you. He said back. We sat there like that, two broken people under an indifferent sky dot, and then he leaned in again. Not to kiss me this time, but to rest his forehead against mine. You saved me twice, he whispered. I closed my eyes. Then, don't make me regret it. He pulled me into him, arms tight, breath shaking. Not passion, not seduction. Need, grief, love, everything. We sat like that until the stars took the sky. But before I could feel safe in it, he said something that cracked the night open. There's something else you should know. I pulled back. What? He hesitated. The photo? I didn't just keep it. I searched for you. I stared at him. What do you mean? I hired someone. I traced you through online records. I found your name, your job, this trip, everything. My stomach dropped. So you didn't just find me on the beach? He shook his head. No. I came for you. The wind suddenly felt cold. You knew who I was from the beginning. I whispered. Yes. And in that moment, I didn't know if I wanted to kiss him or run again. You came for me. I said it so softly I wasn't even sure the wind didn't swallow it whole. Adrian didn't blink. Yes. I stood, shaken, the sand unsteady under my feet. You knew who I was. From the first second. I did. I looked out at the water, eyes burning. You lied. No. I didn't tell you, but I didn't lie. That's the same thing when your heart's on the line. I shouted. Silence. The waves, like witnesses, pulled back then crashed forward, over and over like this moment between us. Do you know what that kiss meant to me? I asked, my voice breaking. I thought it was real, unwritten, unplanned. It was real, he said, stepping forward. But it wasn't accidental, I replied, backing away. You calculated it. You waited, watched. You already knew my name, where I was staying. You made it look like fate, but it was a setup. His jaw tightened. It wasn't a setup. It was hope. That stopped me. I didn't know what I was expecting when I found you, he said, stepping closer. I thought maybe I'd say thank you and walk away. But then I saw you, and it wasn't about that day anymore. It was you now. You, broken and beautiful and real. You, not 15 and fading, but alive and looking at the world like it still owed you something. Tears blurred my vision. I hated him for saying the right things, for meaning them. I don't know if I can trust you now, I said. Then ask me anything. I hesitated. Then, why me? Why hold on to me all these years? He looked down at the sand. Because you're the only person who didn't leave. That broke me. I sat down again slowly this time, like my body couldn't hold the weight of the truth anymore. He followed, quietly. I don't know what this is, I whispered, or what it's supposed to be. He nodded. Neither do I. But I know I've felt more in the past few days than I've felt in years. He looked at me, eyes raw. Then let's not define it. Let's just stay. We didn't kiss. We didn't hold hands. We just sat there, two people who had collided too hard to walk away unscathed. The stars came out again, same sky. But we weren't the same underneath it. Eventually, I leaned my head on his shoulder. He didn't move. I still don't forgive you, I whispered. You don't have to. Just don't disappear. I closed my eyes. I won't, I said. And I meant it. Because sometimes the most honest love doesn't start clean, it starts with the dirt, the pain, the past that refuses to stay buried. It starts with the truth, and the truth doesn't leave.